Okay, this is the meeting of the Parking Authority of Fairfield, Thursday, July 30th, 7:30 p.m. This is a teleconference virtual meeting.
This is Greg. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and if anyone has any comments or feedback on the minutes of our June meeting, or if not, I would like to make a motion to approve them.
This is Rich. I'll second the meeting minutes.
Okay, all in favor? I'm in favor of approving them. Okay. Dan, was that you or Rich?
That was me, Dan Ford.
Okay, so they're approved. I don't have anything in my chair report, so we can go to Eileen.
Okay. So the first item is real estate taxes. As I had mentioned, the Southport Freight Station, real estate taxes for this year is $2,300, and that is due to the tax collector. I had spoke with the tax assessor, Ross Murray, about it the other week, and he explained to me that because the property is used for commercial purposes, it is charged real estate taxes. The Conservancy had been paying in the past, but now that we have taken responsibility for this freight station, the bill comes to us. There is further discussion that could be had with the tax assessor, but for tonight, we wanted to just have the board discuss and vote on whether to pay the real estate taxes at this time.
My feedback is very quick and simple: is that we should just pay them now. And then if we can get them rebated at a later date, we can certainly try after we talk to the tax assessor, collector. But in the short term, I think we should just pay them. We're still waiting on a proposal from the Southport Conservancy on, what they may propose about that building, which we can discuss if that ever happens. But at this point, I think we have to pay the taxes. But open to you guys if you have questions, feedback.
I agree. This is Dan Ford.
Rich?
Yep, I'm fine too. I agree.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion to pay the taxes at this time.
Dan Ford.
Can one of you guys second it? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 3 ayes.
Okay.
So that passes.
Yes. Okay. All right. The second thing is the parking management system update. The license plate reader, LPR, the tech is coming from California to install, and he was supposed to come last week and do the installation. Due to the COVID restrictions, he cannot come to Connecticut from California without being quarantined for 2 weeks and or taking having a test done while out in California and then showing the results. So that's put the whole thing on hold. So we do not know when he's going to be able to come out. It's kind of dependent on when Connecticut lifts that restriction on California. But for obvious reasons, he can't come out here and sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks and not do any work, on his company's dollar. So they're not going to send him out here while that restriction is in place. And they have other techs, but they're all in California. So we're on hold with that, which is too bad. But at because the parking hasn't come back yet, it's not like we are in a full swing in the lot and are really in jeopardy by not having the LPR in place right this minute. We're averaging, for the month of July, we averaged about 35 vehicles parked per day at Fairfield Center. So as soon as he can, he's going to come out. He'll install it, and then there'll be training for the police, and parking authority is going to also attend that, since we need to know how this whole thing works. And so that would take place over the course of a week, and we're just going to have to wait and see when he can come out here.
So, so they don't have anyone that is local or semi-local that can. So what if this restriction stays in place for the next 6 months?
I know. Well, we've kind of we've asked, do you have East Coast reps? Could the police put it in? I mean, the police are more than capable of doing something like this, but they don't the company doesn't guarantee it unless they put it in. So we're kind of saying we're just kind of sitting on it right now, but I think as we start to see things change in parking or before then, we're going to push, and they're going to have to get somebody else out here. Somebody's got to be able to come. They've got to do something. That this is not a long-term solution to just wait. No,
can you like get me like involved in an email chain or something with them, because we paid them, like we've given them half the money, right? So I understand that they may not want to have someone have to sit here for 10 days, but they're going to have to make some kind of arrangements to get someone here to do this so we can be up and running, come September, right? Doesn't this all start September 1st?
Well, I mean, if the Parkers come back, that was my plan. That I've been kind of targeting September 1 as a date to have everything, the signage, everything up and running, with hopes that kids would go back to school and cars would start to park. I don't think that we're going to see a full lot, but I do think we'll see some uptick. So we do have a little bit more time, but we've expressed, we being the police and parking authority, have expressed the fact that this is not an answer. They have to come up with something else, and they have not said anything yet, but we can keep pushing.
Yeah, that's not an acceptable answer. I mean, not from you, from them. That they just don't know. I mean, because there's, at the rate, if this person's coming from California, at the rate California is at now, they're not going to be down to whatever the governor said under. What, I don't even know what it is. Is it under 10% or something? That's a long way off, seemingly.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, I think we leave it in the hands of we push it back with Passport, because ultimately Passport is our vendor, and they are subcontracting the license plate reader to this other company, PCS, which is a West Coast-based firm. So it's up to Passport to come up with some other solution. And I had talked with Deputy Chief Smith about it, and we were saying we may call the if we have to call the top guy in Passport, we will. We can't let this go on forever. We're going to need to get back to business. But that's what happened last week. So that did not take place as of yet. But I will definitely keep you in the email chain, Greg, and I'll let you know any updates I hear. The second thing is the citations portion of the system. That is going really well. I'm very pleased with the way it's set up, and that the import of the legacy data is going to happen next week, as well as we're having training, and once the training is completed and the legacy data is all imported and tested and all that, the officers can use the handhelds in the meantime before the LPR comes in. So that's that part. I'm sorry?
I said okay.
Okay. The other part, all in relation to this, is, the signs we had talked about the last time. So the signs have all been ordered. I don't have a delivery yet. I have to double check with DPW who's sent it to their vendor. But that should be, they'll come hopefully in one swoop, and then we'll go out, lay them all over the parking lots. And then also in relation to all of this is DOT has sent some hand sanitizer stations to the train stations. I received ours last week, and so there'll be one on each side of the platform. And then they also asked us to post some social distancing signs. Some of them are Metro North signs, some of them are DOT signs, but to put them on the platform areas. We're a little challenged there because some stations have walls on their platform, like, or glass or something where they can put these things, whereas we don't. We have the railings, which are, go up to people, they only go a couple feet high. So I'm trying to figure out some places that we could put some of the signage. Most likely it's going to be like by the ticket machines, that kind of thing. But we'll be putting those up. I can put the signs up myself, but I'll have DPW help put the hand sanitizer stations in. And then we'll be all set with that.
Hey, it's Nelson. Sorry.
Hi, Nelson.
Hi. Okay. Sorry I'm late.
No problem. So I just gave a quick parking management system update, and I can just send you an email or something and quickly bring you up to date with it. So now anyone have any questions on the parking system?
No, I don't.
Okay. So permit renewals. Let me just get my paper. Hold on a sec. Okay. So far we have sold 1,103 permits for the current fiscal year, and 930 of them were Fairfield and 173 were Southport. So that's half of the permits that we sold last year, so that's pretty good. We expect to see a big increase in the next month, in August, because the deadline is August 31st, and I think a lot of people, for various reasons, will wait till the end to renew. So I think that we'll see then, and then we can go out to the wait list and offer them. We have had a couple requests, just a few. People are trying to figure out what to do because they're either not returning to work until October or January. But we've just said you have until August to decide, and just let us know what you're going to do. So that's where with permit renewals, we have seen a number of people signing up on the wait list. Right now we have 940 people on the Fairfield wait list and 470 people on the Southport, and we expect to be going to that, early on, and probably in September. So we'll be able to move that list along. The wait time is 2 years for Fairfield and about 2.5 for Southport.
Okay. And
that's it.
Anyone have
permit renewal.
Anyone have any questions or feedback on that?
And what's the daily parking tickets running versus last year? 10%? 5%?
It's 0 because
you know?
there's no enforcement right now of the day parking. So and it's honest, it doesn't warrant it because we have about 7 cars in day parking, and I'm not even sure that all of them are there taking the train. Some of them could be, there are a couple of joggers that I see get out of the car and run. So there's just not enough volume to have to pay for the officers, to come out and ticket. So we're not collecting any day revenue right now. The only revenue we have is the permits.
Okay.
So that's all I have for the office report, unless anyone has any questions or anything.
I don't. Anybody?
For new business or just other stuff?
More so on what I was, and I realized that you missed a little of it. But if you had any questions on permit renewals or on the parking management system.
Nope, all set.
I'm good. Thanks, Eileen.
Sure.
Okay, so then that brings us to new business, which I don't have any. Does anybody have anything?
I guess this is Bob Gorman. Several people have approached me and said, look, it's hard to tell how and when this will get back to normal, if and when it ever does. And in the meantime, a whole bunch of space here. Is there anything that can be done to help the community? Someone suggested drive-in movies, with a screen against the wall, or I know people were asking me just what else could be done with this space in the next 6 to 12 months where it may not be fully utilized. And I said, I have no clue, but we should start to think about that if, God forbid, this stretches into another year or so. And I'm not.
FTC asked them about using the parking. Sorry.
Go ahead, Alice. I'm sorry.
I said FTC asked the town about using the parking lot for a concert, a drive-in concert, and they said no.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I did read that.
No.
Was that driven by? Well, I don't know. I didn't. I read about it, but I didn't hear why. Did you hear anything, Nelson?
I don't really know, because the thinking was if everybody stays in their car, it should be relatively safe. But I guess I don't know. I guess I'd have to go ask Lou to ask more questions.
I mean, to me, that's a brilliant idea that you would think could be administered pretty effectively. Although maybe they're scared. I think there was some issues when they had the graduation down at the beach. I think
actually that was it. They were unhappy with how graduation went on the beach, so they're afraid that people wouldn't stay in their cars. That was the thing. Now that you mention it, yep.
I hate to be my lawyer about
it. People not staying in their cars. I'm not Dr. Fauci, but we do have a pretty low rate of spread maybe now is not the time, but maybe in a couple of weeks we could approach. I mean, I would love to support Lou and FTC in trying to do something like that. It would help the town in many ways.
Can I just jump in for a second? So, please. Nelson, I don't know what. And Eileen, maybe you could give some guidance on this because I really don't know. But since we're not a town, run committee, like, what jurisdiction does the town have over our parking lot? Like, why wouldn't
Thank you. I was just about to ask that same question, Nelson.
Why wouldn't they come to us and ask us for permission to use our parking lot?
Why couldn't we lease the southbound lot to FTC? Just lease it to them for a night.
I think that the lot that makes the most amount of sense is not necessarily the main lot, but possibly the Mill Plain lot, where you don't have to worry about people driving through or using the lot, right? I mean, the lot's not being used, but nobody uses the Mill Plain lot, and there's lots of parking there. But either way, I mean, there are lots. But would we have to in turn go get a permit? Some type of permit from the town for something. I don't know what that answer is, but I think that, I don't know how much the new administration actually knows about what their jurisdiction over us is. Me and Eileen have had that conversation several times, and, I know some people in the department do, but I don't necessarily know if the people who might have said no to this actually know they don't have jurisdiction over our parking lots. So if they want to do that, I would certainly be happy to talk to her and, the guys. I know the guys at FTC, obviously, about it, and maybe we try to see if we can make that happen, even if we have to butt a little heads.
Hey, look, obviously I'd be in favor of it, but I guess, FTC went to the town, and then afterwards, my wife, who is, y'all may or may not know, is on the board of FTC, came to me and said, well, why can't we do this? And then after wanting me to delve into this, they were then worried about if they do an end around through the parking committee, would they just tick off the town, which is not going to be productive in the long run. So,
right.
Nelson, were they looking for the main lot or just the lot on Carter Henry?
No, I think they were thinking in terms of the main lot, but look, anything's open to suggestion. I mean, it's just a way to try and do something, right?
It's a gorgeous space that's vacant that FTC
right.
could
we got all the space. Yeah.
It's a perfect scenario for and FTC does great work. I think they would love for us to give them that option, and I don't know the politics of approaching the town, but it could be a really nice end of summer night.
I agree. Maybe that's Dan Ford. Sorry. Maybe we develop a plan. Talk to Bob, your wife, perhaps, and in conjunction with FTC, go to the town and say, "This is what we like to plan. Is there a way we can make this work?" And try to make them our partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think too.
And
you look at
it's Nelson's wife, Lou, not my wife.
Nelson's
wife.
Oh,
sorry.
It's okay.
No biggie.
So, Eileen, why don't we do this in a couple of stages before we ask FTC to, make a plan and then possibly be that, wasted effort on everyone's behalf. Why don't you ask the chief at the police department, just say, hey, we're thinking of doing an event. You don't have to say it's FTC. You can just say an outdoor music event or a movie in the parking lot. What do we need to do? And just to see what the police say. They may say you need to go get a temporary, one-day permit from the town, blah, 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 blah. But I wouldn't mind their feedback first. Because it's like if we wanted to have a car show, in the parking lot of the train station, like we've talked about, for years now. We don't need to go anywhere to get anyone's permission. So if we wanted to do that, we could just do it. So why would this be different? So could you do that? Could you just?
It could be liability. I don't know.
Right.
And
I don't know. What's like the state's? Is the state's restriction on public gatherings? Is it 100 people still, or is it more? I don't even know what the current rules are for the state.
It is 100 people, but it's about to change. Yeah, I believe it's about to, change. I'm reading into what they're talking about schools and fully opening the state and everything. It's I don't think it's that far off that it's going to be fully open. But again, Westport is having drive-in movies in the center of town, right? Like in a big parking lot, the same size, like kind of the same size of.
Well, and by the way, the town had a little concert on the green, I think.
Tonight, yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight, yeah. So.
Yeah.
And I think somebody told me there's going to be like a band playing at the pavilion on the beach.
A private event, or
heard that also.
for the town?
No, public.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think we just, I would just ask the police, ask Letty what he thinks, and then we'll kind of go from there. And, maybe the move is if he says he doesn't see any reason why we couldn't do it, we just notify the town that this is what we're going to do and see what feedback they may have from that, just as a courtesy.
Yeah, we could always hire officers. I run a big event at Assumption Church every year, which we just had to cancel. 5,000 people every September. We just hire the police. Our permits are only we sell alcohol, so we got to get a liquor permit. We have a raffle in bingos. We have to do those permits. But in terms of operating, we don't have to get any permits. We have rides and stuff. The ride company has to get permits, but if it's our property, we could probably just do it. But I agree with you.
Right.
Politically, it's kind of tough because you're going to piss somebody off.
Yeah, I think like you said, we should go at some point go to the town and just see what their concerns were, because if they might they might be more than what we heard, and it's worth hearing what their concerns are.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nelson, I guess it's up. If you want to see if they want to take a look at it again. Obviously, I think the temperature here is we'd be more than happy to try to make it happen.
Yeah. So look, let me talk to my wife, and then if they're still interested in pursuing it, I'll call you, Eileen, and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
And Nelson, hopefully FTC would want to move forward and see what goes there. But I think in general, and this is nothing to for the commission to think about short term, but if, God forbid, this were to stretch for another 6 or 12 or 18 months, where there's no use of the parking lot, we should start to think about other potential uses for the space. And I don't know what that means, but we should keep our eyes open and think about that.
I hate to be pessimistic, but just looking how it's flaring up in the rest of the country, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to be getting better anytime soon. My son's been told, don't even think about coming to the office till January. I saw Google just said, don't think about it till June.
Yep.
I mean, holy cow.
Well, I can tell you from
I'm
traffic
shocked
in and out I'm not going into my office anytime soon, but if you look at traffic, there's a lot of traffic in and out of the city at rush hour these days. So I went
into New York yesterday. It was incredible.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that means that people are just not taking public transportation and are driving in, and that's going to mean The good news is, the news is, we've sold more than half the permits already. So I think the permits, we're going to be fine on permits. It's just a matter of when people are going to use them.
Right.
Yep. But financially, what if we only sell 75% of the permits?
Wait, what?
What if we only sell 75% of the permits?
Well, then I go to the wait list, and we keep pushing out the wait list.
Okay. Well, let's see how that goes. It's going to be interesting.
And if for some reason we blew through the wait list and we still had, permits to sell, I don't know. We just wait for more people to sign up, but I think we'll sell them. It may be a delay because people are going to hold off till last minute. Even like when we go to the wait list, I think people will. Some people will decline it because they're finding that they don't have, don't trust that they'll use it. But I think we will sell them because there are people who are going back. And, I've been there. You look at the trains. There's not a lot of people on them, but there's more people than I thought. So
I don't know. I put some friends on the train today. It was pretty empty.
Yeah. What time was that?
No, they're definitely empty.
Yeah. I do see a lot of people dropping off, too. They're not parking, but they're getting dropped off.
Yeah.
They're going in a little bit later.
Plus, it's also summer. It's summer, which is always super light anyway. So, the gauge is, after Labor Day.
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
Yeah, September and October are usually our busiest months, so it'll be interesting to see what that is.
This would have been a perfect time to do the striping, Eileen. Just kidding.
I know. That's what somebody said. They said, why didn't you wait and do the repaving this year? You wouldn't have had to scramble to find all those other lots. I'm like, yeah, wish we knew, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Eileen, when's our next meeting?
The last Thursday of August. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you guys all stay healthy.
Cheers. You too. Cheers.
All right, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.